Hey everyone, welcome to Smash Trivia. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia to follow everything happening with me. I'll be the one with the big old green head in the profile picture. I'm so excited to get into this. This is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, in this series, I'm going to review everything Hulk, all the movies and TV shows. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening if they could please do something for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. For this episode, I'll be reviewing She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Episode 2. I'd like to take a moment to say, Smash Trivia now has a Patreon, so please check that out. We have some fantastic extra content on there that I bet you'll love. The tiers are as follows. $1 a month is Hulkaholic for $1. $3 a month is the Reading Room with Hulky and Shulky. $5 a month is Smashing the TV, and $10 a month is Bruce's Bar Trivia and One Night Smashes. The co-hosts today are Keith, aka Keith Sketches, aka Film Career with a K. How you doing, Keith?
I'm doing good, man. Excited to have an attorney for hire discussion. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right, and then we have two guests us host on tonight. We have Darek from the X-Packtor Podcast, which this is also Derek's birthday. So, how are you doing today for your birthday, Darek?
I'm doing pretty good. I am glad to be here, John.
Nice, good.
Happy birthday, Darek.
Well, thank you very much, buddy.
Happy birthday. All right, and finally we have a sensational friend of the show, Whitney. How are you doing, Whitney?
Hey, John, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. All right, so as I have a trivia question for you all. In what year was She-Hulk introduced in the comics?
Oh wow.
I feel like this should be an easy one these days.
It should be an easy one for you, Keith, because you were on my episode reading that comic on Patreon.
Well, heck, I was too busy doing the voices of all the cronies.
I'm pretty sure at the beginning of it, I said the year.
I'm gonna say 1974. Darek.
1969.
Nice.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna say 1984.
All right. Well, I will give the answer to that later in the episode.
Hey, John, can I interrupt you real quick?
Okay.
So I came prepared. I have a trivia question as well.
All right. Look, let's go.
Nice.
Okay. So during the Civil War in the comics, She-Hulk eloped with the son of what Marvel character?
Ooh. She's been with a lot of characters.
Whoa.
Is this question for all of us or just John?
I mean, everyone can answer it. Yeah.
Man. It was Civil War, so it could be like literally anyone.
I'm gonna say the only character that I know that she's hooked up with, of which I actually know the name of the father of. So I'll say the son of Howard Stark, since she's hooked up with Tony Stark.
Oh, gee. Wait, hang on. Can you repeat the question? It's which during Civil War she hooked up with the son of a character she already hooked up with?
Not hooked up. Eloped. Eloped. They got married.
Okay. She married someone.
The son of what Marvel character?
Son of what Marvel character?
I'll even give you eloped in Vegas if that helps at all.
That doesn't help. But thank you. Very thoughtful. I don't know. The son of Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
That's kind of a good guess. I kind of don't have a clue. The son of Cyclops. I don't know. Does he have a son?
He's got two.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
I'm really glad that I even stumped John with this. I was like, no matter how much research I do, John's gonna know. He's gonna know.
I'm surprised too. I'm a little shook.
I don't make a list of every character that She-Hulk has been with.
Sure.
I tell you, I will admit, when I was looking at this, it started like listing all the characters. I was like, okay, it's a decent amount. But yeah, it only mentioned elope next to one. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go with that one.
Nice. That makes it special, especially Vegas.
Exactly. It's
Classy.
different.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to reveal that now, or do you want to reveal that near the end of the show? Like I'll be revealing my answer.
We can do it toward the end of the show.
All right. All right. So, as I have every week, and we actually have both of them on today. Our Hulkaholic for $1. We have Film Critter and Darek Sager.
Thanks, man. Thanks for hauling.
Y'all can't see me waving, but I'm waving.
All right, and as always, I highly recommend watching the episode before you listen to this podcast because there's gonna be hella spoilers for the episode. And the podcast I want to shout out this week is the X-Packtor Podcast. So I'm gonna give Darek the floor to tell us all about his podcast.
Hey, thanks, John. Yeah, so my podcast, it's just it's basically about the Packers for the most part. I'm doing a deep dive into the Packers week in and week out. Their previous games we'll take a look at, as well as upcoming games. I'm also going to be releasing an episode a week about fantasy. So if you like the Packers at all, or if you like fantasy football, give it a follow. And then also in the off season, I'll be doing a lot of draft coverage as well. So I am very looking forward to starting this journey, and I hope that you guys start it with me.
I listened and just earlier today to his first episode, and even though I don't know anything about football, I enjoyed the hell out of it. So he does an incredible job. So definitely check him out.
Nice.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Darek told me last week that he was going to start covering the Carolina Panthers. I think he was like, you know what? One episode was enough with the Packers. I'm going to move on to the better team.
Just wait until my fantasy episodes. I'll definitely be looking at Christian McCaffrey. That's my guy.
Yeah, you will.
All right. Well, let's get into this review. So this episode was titled Superhuman Law. And the first thing I wrote was that I love how they made the previously on segment to be almost as if Jen is telling us the story again from the first episode.
Yeah,
I thought that was kind of cool. And then the episode actually starts as we see a news footage about Jen revealing herself as She-Hulk in her fight against Titania, who, just like the comics, is revealed to be a big influencer. What did you guys think of them revealing that Titania is this famous influencer?
Oh my gosh, that cracked me up.
Yeah.
Like my first thought was, okay, so we've got an Insta famous woman flipping shit because she got a parking ticket. That's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah. I did love the mention that she came crashing in from traffic court. I was like, okay, they're painting a picture in only a couple sentences, and I'm like, okay, now I know why they got this actress to play this part. I really am excited to see what's next.
Yeah.
After that first episode, sorry, Whitney, go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say, I feel like it was a perfect role for her. Like the first episode when she looked at her and was like, who the hell are you? And I was like, of course she's an influencer. This is perfect for her. And if you read the news ticker at the bottom of the screen, it said that her lawyer said her rampage was caused by extreme low blood sugar. I was like, yeah, that sounds like that's something that would be said today, you know?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, after watching the first episode, that was one of my questions was, what is she, flipping out about in this courtroom?
Yeah.
And what's her connection to the specific courtroom? It never ever crossed my mind that she was flipping out for a parking ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I know I'm making up parking ticket. It could have been run a stop sign, or maybe,
True.
You know what? One of those moving stops. That's exactly what it was. Rolling stops. There we go.
Lots of ways to break the law on the road. That's for sure.
All right. And then we then cut to a bar where inside people are shouting, She-Hulk, She-Hulk, repeatedly as Jen and Nikki are outside. which I love of how the bar's name is a pun. It's the Legalese Bar and Grill.
Oh,
Legalese.
Yeah.
I noticed that too.
Nice.
It was nice. It was nice.
that is nice.
Yeah.
Do we know, does that have any comic book reference at all?
I don't know.
Okay. I
So
didn't even think to look that up.
So Nikki tells Jen that that's for you. Oh, and Jen tells her that can't possibly be for, what they're calling me. And Nikki says, Lady Hulk, Girl Hulk, She Hulk, just give them what they want. And Jen looks at the camera, sighs, turns into She Hulk, and then they head inside. And Jen tells Nikki as she gulps a Hulk-sized shot that name better not stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pissed.
Well,
Oh yeah,
I think
sure,
by
understandably.
based on her logic in the first episode, I think by answering to that name, that legally she's going by that name now.
No, no.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was a little bit before they went into the bar. They were interviewing that guy, and I think I'm just on high
yeah.
alert for sexist bullshit. But they were talking to this guy, and he was like, I wrote down what he said because I wanted to remember it. He said, "This chick, pretty decent." Like he had to comment on what she looked like.
Of course.
And I wrote gross. And then he called her Chick Hulk. So yeah, that's pretty
That's a shame.
I feel like they're doing that at every single moment that they can with any guy, honestly. Because I mean, there was the douchebags outside of the bar in the first episode.
Yeah.
And then this guy, because I noticed that as well, Whitney. And then here in a little bit, what we're about to get to, he's like, "Oh, hey, there's a hot chick. I'm gonna go talk to it."
To it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to it.
Talk to
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I was like, all right, so this is where we're throwing this.
Definitely.
Dennis. Oh, Dennis.
And it
Mhm.
seems extreme. It seems extreme because it's happening all at once on this TV show. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is how common this actually is.
Oh yeah, yeah. That,
Yeah.
Actually doing
And why
this.
which
would
I
it
think that's
be-
why they're having
Yeah.
it happen so many times in the show, because they want to show what reality is like.
Yeah.
Like,
And and then obviously this is a comedy too. They're playing it up for the fact that she is able to talk to us about this kind of stuff too. I like it. It's reminding me of the few comics that I've read of She-Hulk already, which is nice. The character like Dennis, for one, I laughed at that line because I thought it was so Dennis. I don't know him very well yet, but damn, that was pretty cold and pretty funny.
Yes,
It's like-
it
he's
felt like him to
nepotism.
me.
Nepotism, I knew it.
yeah.
That line. Yeah.
And I
Oh,
thought it was funny that she was like, Hulk's a dumb name too. That
Yeah.
made me-
yep.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So let's see. Dennis came over to ask her if both how she got her powers, and also to tell her how he thinks that she debuted her powers just to draw publicity for herself, which Jen says, I don't want to talk about it. Which this is where he makes a joke, which I actually thought the nepotism joke was kind of funny that they that one.
Well, he's just a rival, right? He's such a petty little man, and the fact that he's so sour about it is funny.
And that's what, like, so I watched it a few times today, and the latter times that I watched it, I was laughing because I'm like, okay, this guy's sitting here flipping out about this. Little does he know the conversation that's about to happen between her and her boss. Like, this man should be thanking her.
Exactly. Now he can, cream always rises kind of thing. He can just make it out.
Yeah,
like
now he can
was
come
the
up with
better
whatever
lawyer.
excuses he wants and talk about how he was the better lawyer. He even, out-lawyered She-Hulk, attorney for hire.
Yeah. And then he gets his he can have his villain arc later in maybe season 2 or something.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his last name is Bukowski, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, he is a canon villain.
I don't really know. Oh, I know he's in the comics, but I don't know if he's a canon villain. Wait, I actually earlier today I posted a picture on Twitter of both his show version and his comic version, mainly because I was saying that because of that line of him saying, I'm gonna go talk to that hot chick over there. And I was writing this tweet about how I want him to be turned into a ball and punted between two Hulks, and because of the picture I chose was one both of his comic version and his show version. I noticed his comic version, at least to me, it looks like John Travolta.
I see it.
Like,
I see it for sure.
Grease John Travolta or Wild Hogs John Travolta?
I would say okay, there you go.
There's just I see a little bit of like the later
okay,
years John Travolta.
I see what you're talking about. Mm-hmm.
Got the chin dimple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm leaning toward like a mixture. Like if Grease John Travolta had brown hair instead of black and his face was a little bit wider. Yep, I see it.
Sandy.
All right. So Nikki tells Jen about how she got free drinks because some guy thinks that she's a superhero. Oh, and Jen says that how she's not a superhero. That's for billionaires, narcissists, and adult orphans for some reason. In which I love that line.
It's a good line, and though I've heard it to death since the trailers, like I like to imagine the trailers don't exist. Like, what if this was just meant to be seen once, and it's too damn clever to pass up? I love that line as well.
Yeah,
just the delivery too. The delivery of a lot of these lines in this episode are so perfect, different than you'd expect.
Nikki says so you could be an Avenger, and Jen asks, do Avengers even get health care, maternity leave, a pension? Do they even get paid?
She's asking all the right questions.
Yeah.
I would have asked every single one of those questions. Maternity leave, here. Listen, I got to think about these things.
Yeah.
Which Nikki responded by simply saying, but here's the thing. Hulk Jen is a total snack. Which I gotta say, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Yes, we've seen your Twitter, John. My goodness, I know your thirsty tweets for Jedi.
So Jen's also asked her if you could talk to her for a moment. Jen says, "Of course, sir," as she gets up and towers above him, which I found that hilarious. They are tower above him.
Yeah.
So he asks that she go back to Jen, and she says, "Oh, sure." She starts changing back, and due to the different metabolism, she just falls to the ground.
Drunk immediately. I loved it. I
loved that too. That was a great timing.
Oh yeah, it was perfect. I absolutely loved it.
Just the fact that they would add that, which is like, okay, you think that the whole the drunk thing, like with Captain America, that doesn't ever come up again when he brings up the fact that he can't get drunk, and it's like a sad moment, and then they have a celebrating moment in the first episode, and then it comes back to better in the ass this episode. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so whenever I first saw it, I was like, okay, she just like slipped out of her chair or something like that. Like who of us has not done that? And then when it showed her like on the ground, I was like, wait, there's no chair there.
Yeah. And then she's like, boss. Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost the case. Yeah.
Basically falling asleep. Like, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had in that shape.
Yeah. Especially the ones where you're getting like canned. And you're like, oh no. No, I'm just kidding.
So he tells her that we didn't win the case, that JLK and H had it declared a mistrial because of your She-Hulk saving the jury. And Jen asks, what was she supposed to do? Let them get hit in their faces with a desk and they have blunt force trauma bleeding out all over the courtroom? And her boss says, no, you did the right thing, but I unraveled our case. And he says, I'm sorry, Jen, but I gotta let you go. Which Jen at first, her mind doesn't catch up, but then and she realizes is saying, wait, you're firing me? Which Yeah. We get the first title card for the show is it changes from attorney at law to attorney for hire, which I really like that.
Yes, I love it.
Also, I kind of like her old boss here. Like it kind of seemed like he
nice.
he had to fire her, but it definitely seemed like he did not want to. And I kind of feel like he's like a character where he could show up later in the season and like she needs to do something but she doesn't want GOK and H to know about it. So I could see her going to her previous boss to get some help.
Yeah, for sure. I also like that he seems like kind of a soft like demeanor about him for a boss to have. And I always unfortunately go to Twitter after these episodes and I wonder what people are saying about the episode. And some people are like, oh, in the first episode she's all high and mighty, in the second episode she's an idiot. And I'm thinking, when my second watch through the episode, I'm like, was she an idiot? I don't think. No. I think what they're seeing is that she's still nervous. She's still finding her way as a lawyer. She's a little bit more easily shook. And I thought, okay, if her boss was like this kind of kind-hearted, he saw potential in her type of thing, and she's never had like this asshole boss that she's about to have, it made a lot more sense that she's still getting her grips as a lawyer and fighting her way because someone saw potential in her. So I think he is a nice guy. I just, unfortunately, he was put in a bad place.
Yeah, that was kind of my feeling. I felt like it was a strictly business thing. Like, I didn't think he held any ill will towards her or anything. It just was something that had to be done. And honestly, I felt like he was a little bit too nice for a DA.
Very true.
Like how I took it was like he was saying like, yes, so this happened. They threw our trial out this time because of mistrial because the jury was biased. I think he's thinking any and every trial going forward that she goes to, because she's the She-Hulk, she's going to end up having the opponent ask for a mistrial if she wins. So that so it wouldn't make sense for him to be able to keep her on.
Mm-hmm. And she soon finds that out as well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because especially like, and like court cases, they're all about precedents and stuff like that. Well, and again, not that she did anything wrong, but by her saving those people, they set the precedents that, okay, so anyone that she's trying, now all they have to do is have a friend come in and start shooting the place up or something like that. No one's going to get hurt because she'll stop them, but then at the same time, they can get a mistrial and get off with it. So it's like that's the precedent she just set, unfortunately.
Very true.
100%.
Yeah. All right, so we cut to the morning as Jen is in bed, and we hear a voicemail from Bruce saying, "Hey Fuzzball, just checking in on you. I'm here if you need aid. No gloating this time, I promise. Well, maybe a little. Which I really enjoyed that little voicemail there. We then see a montage of Jen going to many interviews and then them all turning her down, showing how depressed she's getting, which I feel so terrible for her here. Here's so much. You have something to say, Keith?
As a huge film nerd, I have to say how much I love this tiny little part of the episode, because they not only like the cool transitions between her sitting in the same spot and the environment around her changing, it also shrouds her in more shadow as it goes. Her expression changes, and the comments that she's receiving get more rude. Like the first one, it's a most prestigious office. They're like, you'd be such a big distraction. We're so sorry. The second one, they're just like, we can't hire you for this position. The third one's like, sorry, no. And the last one's like, you're a sideshow. And it just gets more. I loved the combination of everything going on in that very tiny little thing.
I did notice the lines. I didn't notice the background until you mentioned that. But yeah, now that you mention it, I remember.
The last one's like a filing cabinet, like a fern, and they get like smaller offices.
Yeah,
I'm so excited that you said that, because that was what I was going to say about the scene, because you just notice how dirty and dingy the background gets over time.
Yeah, she's losing all, from top to bottom. She doesn't even have the lowest tier job anymore.
Oh,
Sorry, I said
yeah.
it before you, Whitney. That's
No,
I'm
it's okay. I just got really excited when you said it. I was like, yes. What a good one.
I'm glad.
Confirmation.
All right. So we then and cut to Jen and Nikki doing a job search, and Nikki says that you can't work here. They don't have good snacks, which like I just love that. And like Nikki is just so wholesome. I love her. She feels like the perfect best friend.
For a second there, I got confused with what you said, John. I had to rethink about the line. I thought you said they don't have good sex. I was like, that's just an awful workplace.
I mean, yeah, if they don't got good sex, I'm out of here. Yeah, Nikki is like this beacon of light in her life.
Yeah.
I like her deliveries of a lot of her stuff in this episode too. I'm excited that we get 9 episodes with these characters, and I know that they're shorter, but I'm excited to see like her and about 3 others that we've yet to mention in this episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've had 2 good shows with 2 really sets of good best friends. Like we had Nakia and Brian. and now we have Nikki, and I think she is just so great. And we can talk about it later, but the fact that Jen is so loyal to her and she is so loyal to Jen in the later scene, that I wrote that down. I was like, that is true friendship, because I'm sure the world of being a lawyer in LA is kind of cutthroat, and so when you can hold on to your best friend like that, that's important.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'll talk about that when we get there.
All right. So let's see. So Nikki notices that Jen is looking for jobs that aren't as a lawyer on her computer, and she asks her, "What are you doing? Keep your eyes on the prize." Which we then get and see on the computer. We get 2 big references. One of which I believe is the first time the MCU has actually outside of Eternals has actually referenced Tiamat. But then we get it more importantly, man fights with metal claws in bar brawl.
I can't even get it.
Yes,
It has happened.
Wolverine is now confirmed to exist in the MCU. Fuck
And he
yeah.
has his hair in Wolverine style for celebration.
I'm auditioning next week for sure.
Hey,
I'll pick you over Daniel Radcliffe, Keith.
You fit the role more than most. You fit the role more than most people, since you're actually Canadian.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down on my resume.
What a good point. Wow.
I'm actually Canadian. Anybody else is a lie.
That Radcliffe guy can't do a Canadian accent. He's like, actually, I do one.
Not even in the same continent. Come on.
Jen says, "Sorry, I'm sad and lonely." She starts fake snoring, causing Nikki to laugh. And then we see her phone on lock screen as she gets a text saying, "Don't be late for dinner" by her mom, which her lock screen also is America's ass.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Clearly, she's been fascinated with him forever, which I love.
Oh yeah.
I may have rewound that a few times.
But it makes sense.
I've rewound it a few times.
It makes sense too that she would be like, that would be her go-to Avenger to fan over, because like her pursuit of being a lawyer and wanting to stand up for what's right and everything and justice, and that's all the man with the plan.
You know what I
Star
need?
Spangled Man with the plan.
I need a cameo from Old Man Rogers.
That would be amazing.
That might be
Just to see Jen and him interact. That would be excellent.
I feel like immediately she would just be like, "What the hell? You're not who I expected. You're old. You're not sexy."
Just sitting there watching him walk away carrying a walker. That is America's ass.
Yeah,
still got it.
Still got it. Yeah.
Oh man. Jen says, "No," and Nikki responds hilariously, "What? Fired again?" And sorry, and Jen says, no. Oh, it's family dinner after being fired. Jen asked Nikki to please go with me, and Nikki says, "I can't. I have a date." And
Nice.
Jen tells
Like
her
this
how I'll never forgive you for this. This friendship, it really is just so perfect and real feeling. Oh my god.
This
Who do we
friendship-
think she's got a date with?
Not Dennis.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know if
yeah.
we've seen enough characters for her to have a date.
Yeah.
No, you know.
I imagine she's probably using a dating app like they have in the trailer that Jen uses.
It's Torres.
I was gonna say it's Bucky. Or what's the guy's name that's friends with Ant-Man? The one that tells the good stories.
Luis.
Luis. Yeah.
Luis.
Oh man, I love Luis.
Luis is awesome.
Yeah.
Or even better, just plain Michael Pena.
Amazing.
yeah. Just a date with actual Michael Pena.
which could honestly happen because there's definitely in the MCU actors that are actors that just happen to look like the same as some of our heroes, like since they've referenced it's the Big Lebowski, even though Jeff Bridges the series. They've referenced Star Wars, even though Samuel Jackson is in the series,
as well as like 50 other people from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
I thought you were going to tell me that there was some like.
And also, it's LA. So would you be that surprised if there were some actor that they were?
I thought you were going to tell me it was some like Ocean's 12 bullshit where like what's her name?
Brad
Julia
Pitt,
Roberts
George
plays
Clooney.
herself. Julia Roberts' character Tess plays Julia Roberts in order to help with the heist. I was like, this is dumb.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm out. Wait, I will wait till
I know.
Ocean's 13.
Acting like a person that's acting like herself. And somehow she did a bad job at it.
What if she's going on a date with Wong?
Oh, that'd be nice for Wong.
We know he's going to be in the show. I'm
We
just
do.
saying.
You think
That would be great for Wong.
I think he brings up how many languages he speaks and like
Great for
the fact
her.
he's the
Come on.
Supreme.
Yeah.
Sorcerer Supreme. He's gonna bring that up first date.
I bet it would be a super fun Nikki and Wong doing karaoke.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. Now we
Now I
know
need it.
Nikki is a classy woman. She's gonna wait till at least the 5th date
to do karaoke.
for karaoke, and then they're gonna go back to the house, and then she's gonna be like, "Wow, I thought that would be Wonger."
Oh, all right, I'm
out. All right, so we cut to Jen walking up to her family's house for the dessert. She walks in saying, "Mom, Dad, I'm here." Her father walks up saying, "Hey, sweetheart," and he hugs her. Her mom walks up telling her, "Pie, you know this much sugar is gonna be bad for your waistline." And then her dad walks into the dining room while saying how she doesn't have to worry about being fired. He told everyone not to bring it up. As she gets to the table, immediately Ched pipes up saying, "You got fired."
Oh man, I already love Ched.
yeah, right. And I hate her mom already.
Yeah, seriously. Oh my god, the waistline thing. Fuck. There was 2 things that bothered me about this scene. One was the fact that I feel like I lost a bet with you, John, because you said that the name of the character would be Ched, and I thought that Mark Ruffalo had mumbled the name Chet last episode, and then it turns out that his name is Ched, and I felt like Ched levels of stupid. And then also the family seemed so cartoonish. Like at first I was like, they're incredibly cartoony for this show. They're all just the way that they seemed so over the top in their acting, and then they started to grow on me. And then by the time I realized that the dad was being played by Mark Lynn Baker from Perfect Strangers, which nobody knows that fucking sitcom, but it was like decades ago. But it was honestly, I was immediately in love with the dad as soon as they had their heart to heart in the garage. I was like, okay, now I see it. I get why they got this guy.
Oh yeah.
I loved how hard they were like trying to make Ched seem like like an absolute idiot. Like that was my favorite. Like they
said to
did
mention
everything they possibly could to make him seem dumb.
I said not to mention it. Why would I tell you to mention it?
And that's because in the last episode, Bruce, they were like, or she said, "You're not the only genius in the family," and they're like, "Ched."
I figured that had to be a joke. Like I knew they had to be talking about someone that was not that bright.
Yeah.
And I guess he's like a third, like he's another cousin of theirs, so he's not like either of their brother. So that's good.
Congratulations to him though for the promotion to being a manager at Best Buy. Like,
I was like, I know Best Buys. Why would they? I've been to a Best Buy. How does he manage a Best Buy?
I was thinking that too. I was like, honestly, that is good for him.
Okay, my thoughts odds with it was mainly based on my what my brother Michael has told me with for working in tech spaces. They like basically everyone who works with them are idiots, so they don't actually know anything about the tech. So so I'm not surprised he got promoted to manager.
Oh man,
maybe he's just really good at delegating.
So Michael, he didn't work at the tech department at Walmart, but because he knows a ton about computers, they would go over to the tire and auto and come over to him and ask him, "Hey, do you know what this thing is that a customer is asking me for?" It's like,
I worked for a university in their IT department, and I mostly got that job because my brother worked there, and he is absolutely fantastic with technology. I am nepotism. Not. And so I think they were very disappointed when they figured out how awful I was. Like people would be like, "Hey, his screen's black," and I'm like, "Manager, come help." And they're like, "It's on sleep mode, you idiot."
I apparently dazzle my some of my employees at work with how good I am with the Word document program at work that they're not sure how to use, and I go, "Yeah, no, I'm a whiz with computers."
Oh, yeah.
You figure out how to type the Batman symbol?
No, but I will need to go to this next level. I'm running out of tricks.
No, that's exactly what I was going to ask you. I was going to say that would blow my mind if you could figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do it.
Oh shit! I thought you had like a trick up your sleeve, Derek. Damn it! It's gonna be like, teach me.
So, Jen's mom says that she gave this guy named Yusuf if Jen's phone number so that she could mentor him on being a superhero. And,
how much would this bother you, Whit?
Oh my God, you have no idea. And it's not too far off from how my mother is, to be honest. She's never given but she's quite embarrassing. But when she said that, I was like, you don't do that. And poor Jen, you can tell by the way she says, like, don't give people my number. She's like, don't give people my number, Mom.
It's not the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It has to be many times.
I tried to look it up to see if there's any character from the comics that maybe this could be based on, but literally when I tried looking it up, all I could find is Kamala's father. Since he's also named Yusuf, and I don't think that's him.
That would be hilarious,
especially since Jen's mother said that this guy is way too young for Jen, which I feel like Kamala's father is probably a little bit older than Jen is.
Yeah,
true.
We never know how MCU time works, so
true. And that in itself was a dig from her mom. Oh no, he's far too young for you. Like, oh, God.
Right? Like if you're over 22 in America and a woman, you're old and it's too late for you, hun.
Oh no. All right, well, I'm not telling my fiance that. Take our vacations in the UK from now
on. Jen's dad asked if Hawkeye collects his arrows when he's done with them, and then I think someone who's supposed to be an uncle, I think of Jen's, says how Melanie, which is the person next to him, is a hairdresser. And that Melanie says, "Let's get this hair like She-Hulk's."
If I had to guess, I would guess he is Ched's dad, and that's maybe her dad's brother. I don't know. That's got to be the best guess.
That's my thoughts too. I think my favorite line in this whole scene was I think it was the uncle was like, or no, it was the dad. He was like, I mean, he can't just be leaving those arrows around. That could be hazardous. Like all I'm picturing is people walking around New York, lifting their feet up like they're stepping on Legos.
Yeah. And but really though, it's a good question, right?
Yeah.
Like, I want to know the answer to that question.
It's a fan question.
I mean, I'm pretty
like
sure they definitely that he does based on in Hawkeye. Hawkeye. He talks about how they didn't pick up them, so he doesn't have arrows left. He doesn't have any trick arrows left. They failed to pick them up. So I think normally he tries to.
Yeah.
But doesn't have to make more.
Yeah, but I was going to say they also confirmed in Hawkeye that he can make more. So
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can go both ways depending on the situation. Like, I doubt he walked around after the Battle of New York picking arrows out of Chitauri.
That's a huge event like that, and Endgame. Like, how is he gonna,
Yeah.
What it is he makes them out of those like dissolvable paper straws, like the ones that are circulating now that will dissolve after about 15 minutes. So
yes,
a good rain pour and they're gone.
That melt in your mouth.
Yeah, biodegradable arrows. It's genius. Yeah, it melts in your heart, not on the melts on the ground, pierces your heart. Move on, John.
So
melts. Yeah,
melts
this
just melts your heart. We'll just go with that one.
Heart.
Now, this person,
like an Elvis song,
who was who was at the table, did not speak, but there was apparently someone credited in the at the end as Aunt Rebecca, which Rebecca is the name of Bruce Banner's mother in the comics, which is weird because it's supposed to be, or at least in the comics, Bruce Banner's father murdered her. So unless they may be changing that from how the comics were,
it's
which
very
is
gruesome.
interesting. Yeah. But that's interesting that they had a character named Rebecca in there that they, or particularly it was credited as Aunt Rebecca. So which I think should be counted as as an aunt if it's Bruce Banner's mother. Yeah. Jen's mom mentions how Bruce was the one to actually snap and bring everyone back, which I'm glad the world knows it was Bruce who saved everyone.
I didn't catch that line. That's awesome.
Okay, I didn't hear it really myself.
If you had subtitles on it,
I saw it on the subtitle. Yeah,
it was like when all the dialogue was overlapping. Everybody was talking.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I like that they did that because I could have easily seen like them just glazing over that in the rest of the world because Tony Stark died while Hulk did not.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and at the same time, I just now thought about this. Like, that may not be common knowledge. I mean, the only reason they may know that is simply because Bruce is part of their family and he told them.
Yeah.
So that still could not be common knowledge.
Yeah.
To save the world.
Yep.
That should be a pop song.
Her dad tells her that there's a couple of things that I could use your help with before you go. And so he takes her to the garage. She asks what he needs her to do. And he says that was just an excuse to check in with you. And he asks how she's doing. She starts to unpack what happened. And she mentioned how maybe she should have just let those people get smushed, which I found that line pretty funny.
Yeah. I absolutely loved this scene. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That would have 100% been me for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been like, okay, let's talk. You've got some stuff going on. Let it out. It's okay. What's going on?
Oh yeah.
We've had some.
I do that now,
dads, like
all the time.
Marvel's dad was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is nice because as previously, I think for the majority of the fathers in the MCU, it was very much like either dead or it was or they were abusive fathers.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's nice seeing some actually good fathers in here.
I agree.
Her dad tells her it's gonna be okay. This isn't even the first time we've had to deal with a hawk in the family, and you didn't destroy a city.
Yeah, I love that line.
I love that too. I was like, man, this is really nothing compared to what they've gone through with Bruce. This is easy.
Imagine going to the grocery store after he destroys the first city.
Right.
Yes.
I love how much they're trying to like retcon the Hulk movie. Like they're like, yeah, Harlem was a thing that happened, and it's the same Hulk that we're seeing, even though we know it was a different guy. And they're just making sure we know that this is canon, you know?
Yeah.
I really hope that her parents.
That's also not even the only city he's destroyed. Since he also went crazy in Age of Ultron.
I really hope that her parents live in a small town. Because like I don't know about you guys. I'm from a small town, so it's like, it's not, oh, I saw your son was in the paper. So I saw Bruce on the news, and then awkward silence afterward. Like,
yeah, seriously, I would imagine it's tough to go to the grocery store after your son destroyed Harlem with some other weird beast.
Yeah, and it's all over Facebook, and there's 500 comments, and
Well, I mean, he even talks about it in the first Avengers movies. He's like, I broke Harlem.
Jen says it feels like a weight's been lifted, but that there's a new weight. And her father tells her that, and you're still standing though, and you can move forward. And I really just like you guys, I love her dad in this episode so much. He's just such a great dad. He really is.
He won us over really quick.
Yeah. I hope he
got his
continues
Hawkeye
appearing.
questions out of the way, and he went back to being a good dad.
I really hope he continues appearing in the series.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
So the scene cuts to Jen at a bar at the bar from earlier, drinking, and Pedro, a bartender, asks if she wants another, but she tells him no, that he's balling on a budget right now.
I like that line. I really like that. Balling on a budget.
I felt that.
And then Holloway, the man from GLK and H that she fought in court earlier on walks up saying, "Miss Walters, may I buy you a drink?" And Jen says, "Sure, I guess." As he offers her a job, and Jen asks if this is a joke, and he says, "I never joke."
I feel like by the end of the show, we're getting a joke from him. We are.
Probably.
I think in this episode, anyways, I didn't expect in the trailers we've seen this guy very, very, very little, and I didn't expect his character to win me over so much. I love this character. He is an asshole, and he likes making people squirm, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yes.
And a stark contrast to her previous boss too.
Yes, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like, apples and oranges, like extremely different. But the other thing I liked, is going back and like starting it over again.
Yeah.
Whenever they're showing like they're previously on.
Yeah.
After she turns into She-Hulk in the courtroom, it shows his face, and like you can already see the wheel starting to turn in the replay. And it's like, see, they're already calling it right there.
Yeah. Very true. And I love it that she hastily takes, because she's desperate, and she hastily takes the job and then realizes she could have made demands. She is like, I truly do not care who your paralegal is.
Yup.
Okay.
That was like the only emotion I saw him express was just the like, I don't care.
Yeah,
that's the demand you're making.
You're right.
Yeah. So he explains how she laid out a winning case against them, but he had a declared mistrial, and so which is no easy feat against GLK and H. So that's why he would like her to come work for them, and which I'm really glad they mentioned that, because that goes to show that even though yes, he wants her to be the face of GLK and H, he is also trying to get her because he realizes she's a really good lawyer, which is I think is a good thing that they're showing, not because they could have easily just said that he only was getting her because of she's She-Hulk.
Yeah,
Right.
very true.
Yeah.
So I was trying to say.
I was just gonna say, it's like the thing that I even noticed it on the first watch, that she was like, is basically, he's like, I want you to run a new law division for me.
Mm-hmm.
And she was just like, yes, like no questions or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And like, don't get me wrong, I get being excited for a job offer and stuff like that, but that actually helps your chances of getting a job is if you ask the employer questions.
Mm-hmm.
So like, he just so I was kind of like, okay, something's going on here. And then she was upset about the the superhero division and being the face of the law firm. I was like, you could have asked that when he offered the job, and he probably would have told you that. But and at the same time, with the position she was in, I don't think it would. I mean, she still would have taken the job. Being turned down by everywhere else, she's 100% still would have taken it. She just would have gone into it and know what she was going into.
She had that.
I think she was like at the end of her rope, and you know what? She probably was familiar with that law firm, and probably was like, "Yeah, I can do what they do." She probably had no idea they were making a superhuman law division. At least I wouldn't,
I mean, they mentioned new division, and like, I would have never considered that. I'd have been like, okay, are we talking?
It's realistic for how the real world works. So.
You're putting me in traffic court to deal with Tatiana again, aren't you? Titania. Call her Tatiana on purpose, just for shits and giggles.
She'll have another low blood sugar attack.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're making a super bailiff.
Get this woman a Pop-Tart.
So he said, "Oh, so you start Monday," and he just he leaves, and Jed says, Pedro, Jen Walters is back, baby," which I really love that. We cut to her coming to work at ARC now. GLK and H Holloway greets her and tells her that more and more eccentric superhumans are coming out of the woodwork. ARC, and we just started this new superhuman law division, and I want you, the She-Hulk, to be the face of it. That means I expect you to be at work and court as the She-Hulk. Jen asks, "Right now?" And he says, "Mm-hmm."
That's kind of sexual.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
So she hawks out, and everyone starts looking at her, causing accidents in the office. As they walk, she starts breaking the fourth wall onto where she says, "God, is this why they hired me? Okay, this sucks. I'm totally qualified, but everyone's gonna think this is the only reason I got the job. It's so unfair." Which, interestingly, unlike with Hulk in the first episode, Holloway does not notice that she's breaking the fourth wall, which I find really interesting.
I noticed that as well. I was like, does no one notice she's talking to air right now? Because Hulk noticed in the first one.
I'm wondering if in these months she's gotten better at it. So she's or either that, or it's like there's something like about people that she's related to that makes it so they can tell or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I love that it played. I love so much that it played with the fact that when she's doing it, she can't pay attention to what's going on. I love that so much. And when he's just like, "I'm curious, what do you think about it?" Yeah. She has no fucking clue what to say. She's like, "I'm agnostic."
Yeah. I'll admit, I had to look up agnostic.
I was like, what?
Oh, I did.
Like, why would she jump to that conclusion?
Why would you say that?
I was like, what does she think he asked her? I don't.
But it
Sitting
worked
there like,
weirdly.
Yeah.
oh, it did somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's like,
the most
interesting.
relatable part of that for me was when she turns around and says, "I'll spend the rest of the year worrying about what I just said." And I was like,
Exactly. His reaction was so convoluted. It was like, what is
he was like, he said, interesting,
Yeah.
unprecedented for sure.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he starts like laughing. He's like, huh. He walks off. What did I say?
it was probably the most interesting conversation he's had all day.
Probably.
It probably is.
Holloway tells her that here's your office. He leaves. Jen then starts marveling the office, and Nikki's waiting for her. Nikki asks, "Why are you in Hulk form? That's a look." And Jen tells her that, and I just found out the only reason they hired me is because they want a Hulk lawyer in the superhuman law division. And Nikki tries to cheer her up, saying, "But look at what it's giving us, big ass windows."
Oh, it was funny how much Nikki just blew it off. Like she was like if she was depressed about it for like a split second. She was like, "Oh, yeah, look at the new windows. There's a desk. There's a coffee maker." Like just so
need
fast.
that,
She just
you know?
Yeah, she knows
Right
she
over it.
needs to be able to cheer her friend up.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
hyping her up. Yeah.
Yeah.
with a poop chart.
So, like fully stocked mini fridge and a desk, a really fancy desk. Jen says that I'm gonna have to buy an entire new wardrobe just to come for work. Eric and Nikki says, and you can are making enough money that you can now actually do that. And they hear a knock on the door.
Wait, John. Can I do Pug's part?
Sure.
Okay. I didn't realize this guy's name was Pug. Again, one of those like hearing problems I have, like Chet, Pug. Anyways, but he's
You
like,
really should use subtitles.
What? Okay. What did
I
you
should.
think?
I really should.
What
Yeah.
did you
I don't
think
like how you
his
watch
name
it.
was?
Paul. I thought he said Paul. I was like, that's a name, not Pug. I'm picking real names when I hear them. But yeah, he's like, "Hi, I'm Pug. I also work for the Superhuman Law Division. I brought you guys a welcome basket." He's like, "It's got some office supplies to get you started, some snacks, and a map to the best bathroom for pooping." He whispers it.
Yeah. And Jen and Nikki's reaction
Yeah.
it's like first they're just like, "Aw,"
Yeah.
and when he mentioned the best bathroom to poop in, and they're like,
Super
"Thank
serious.
you."
Yeah, they're so serious. They're like, "That is, thank you, understand
Oh my
us."
God.
I'm
Yeah.
curious as to how big of turd she has in Hulk form.
Oh,
Or
Ugh.
what if before she goes to the bathroom, she goes back to Jen?
No, like Derek.
That can
No.
that can
Oh,
be part of the
God.
thing, like
oh
like
God.
pull your pants down to to sit on the pot, change back to Jen, and then when you
You
pull them
have
back
thought
up, you just go
way
back to
too
Hulk
much
form.
about this.
Do they have a Hulk-sized toilet? Like, what are we doing?
Assuming, I don't even want to say the words.
No.
The words in my head.
No,
Are
come
we
on, hit me.
assuming that? Are we assuming that the shits get smaller with her
I don't
when she turns back?
I don't know.
You're okay. Cool. All right. I'm glad
I
you
mean,
don't know.
Like if it was me, I'd be full of shit no matter what.
That's
So
fair. Yeah.
Oh God.
I can understand that. I just thought with the whole metabolism thing, I'm like, I'm not turning small no matter how much I have to shit.
I mean,
I'm
that-
staying She-Hulk. Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry, Whit.
and then that's a good point too. If you've got like a Hulk-sized shit in your gut, and
Yeah.
you go back to Gen form, that might not
God.
fit
Whitney's face is so ready. She's ready to leave. She's
out. Oh, I
gonna.
know.
she's
And
got-
that
we
just
got.
makes me
We
wanna
got. We
talk about
got.
it even longer.
We got one more strike.
I don't know what to say. I feel like if it doesn't change when she gets small again, she's just gonna die, right?
Right? Yes, and that's my worry with what Derek's been saying. I'm like, come on, why do you
mean,
want
I'm
the
just-
show to end earlier?
I'm just
That-
I'm just trying to think about this
Oh,
process
God.
here.
Episode 3. Sorry, we had to cancel the other like 6 episodes.
Yeah, generally.
Why is
She-Hulk
this
attorney
time
in the
you
ground.
thought so much about Derek?
I mean,
Thought a lot
it's
about
kind of the
this.
way that my head works. Like just one little glimpse of a thought pops into my head and I just start running with it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just see where it goes. I start talking before I know where the road is going to end. Like my mouth just goes.
Thoughts are dangerous, man. You gotta be careful with that stuff.
Oh, no, I love it. Like I was talking to one of my friends the other day. I was like, my life is like a B-rated, or I said my mouth is like a B-rated horror movie. Like it's probably you never know what's gonna come out of it, but it's probably gonna be full of shit with some really bad jokes.
That does sound like a B-rated horror movie.
Doesn't it though? I was like, man, that is one of the best analogies I've ever come up with before. And again, I just started it and didn't know where it was going, but it worked.
Nicely done. You're a natural.
You're so proud of yourself. Look at you.
I am. It's
Just
like
a B-rated horror movie.
exactly.
So proud of themselves.
I really loved Pug so much in this. It's such a cute scene, and also in the comics, he has a crush on She-Hulk, and I think they will go that route in the show. So I'm probably gonna be relating to him a lot.
So now I need to know exactly what they would call those babies. Would it be like my mom's dog is a pug and a beagle? It's a puggle. So would this be a pug Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Wait, are we
Or
saying
a hug?
what if they got a dog? Or I'm confused.
I don't even know. Either way.
He's saying if they have a baby together.
Trying to come up with a name for half human people.
Half
Half
human,
Hulk.
half Hulk people. Well, I would hope they would just go with something like Janet. Like just
Yeah.
like a name. So humanoid.
And let's hope that these Hulk dogs look a bit better than the Hulk dogs in the 2003 Hulk film.
Yeah.
They would have children named Steve. Let's face it.
That's true. Even Stevia.
We cut to a scene between Jen and Holloway. Holloway tells the secretary to tell this guy named Bob he's going to Minneapolis because he hates the cold. I love that. It's so great.
Yeah, she hates the cold. Just tell him that.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't joke. And he says he doesn't joke.
I think
the funny part
is
he's
not
being
joking.
Dead serious.
He wants Bob to be miserable for at least the rest of the day. And then he actually, no, we have something else for you.
He gets some pleasure out of this.
Yeah, his version of a prank is where he feels better and doesn't laugh either. He's like, I needed him to suffer.
So Jen tells him how she's excited for whatever case he wants to assign her. And he says, your first case is the parole of Emil Blonsky. Which is like, yes. Should you say how he's been serving his sentence at an ultra high security prison? And Jen says, I'm very familiar with Blonsky. He responds, so you know about the controversy surrounding his possible release. And the publicity alone is worth us taking this on pro bono. And Jen says, I can't represent him, sir. I have a serious conflict of interest. This man tried to kill my cousin Bruce. And he says, yeah, that's quite all right. That's fine. Blonsky is aware of your familial connection and has signed a waiver. He wants you specifically. And Jen says, I'm not comfortable taking this case. I would prefer literally any other case at this firm. And he says, if you don't take the case, you don't have a job here. At the very least, meet with the client before you decide. So Jen heads to the DODC a prison to meet him.
First time we're seeing a DODC prison, right? Like, I was surprised to see a big sign saying the Department of Damage Control.
Well, it's the exact same prison that we saw in Miss Marvel from the DODC.
because they arrested them, right? Is that the same reason?
Yeah, it's the same facility. They show outdoor shots of both in both series, and it looks exactly the same. Just one's at nighttime.
This one was just much more clear, and I wrote it looks scary as shit. Like it's pretty. Pretty secure.
Maximum.
Yeah. Except for the clandestines apparently, but.
So a guard stops her saying, "You can't be in Hawk form inside. No superpowers inside." So she changes back. This causes her suit to be very baggy now, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
They explain then that when you get in there, do not step past the yellow line or touch the glass. Do you accept these conditions? And she says yes, and she signs the waiver. And the guard says, "In the event of injury or death, please tell us who to notify." That the prisoner is a very dangerous man. She didn't say who to notify. I was really thinking during the scene she was going to say tell my cousin Bruce. It was
start a revenge pact.
She didn't say any name, but it would surprise me.
I mean, at the same time, if someone said that to me and I was her, I would be looking at him and be like, "You do realize I'm a Hulk, right?" Like,
we're not got around.
I can handle myself in there.
Very true.
So, she walks into the room where Blonsky is, and Blonsky sits in his chair saying, "Jennifer Walters, first off, namaste." And Jen says, "Mr. Blonsky, I was expecting," and Blonsky responds, "Abomination." And she accidentally steps past the yellow line, which causing the alarms to go off, freaking her out. And Blonsky says, "Sorry about that. You won't be seeing much of him about. I've completely transformed myself physically, but also spiritually." And Jenna asks if that means that he can't transform anymore, or he won't. And he says, "I choose not to. I'm simply Emil now, Russian-born, British-raised Royal Marines commando on loan to the U.S. government with 7 soulmates that I met through the prison and pal program that I want to start a new life with." Which I think that's a reference to the Thunderbolts team that Val is setting up.
It has to be. But
oh my God, that's so good. I didn't even think about that, John.
I have to be. So I thought about that, and I started like listing the Thunderbolts we know about out. Yeah. Because obviously it's 7 without him. So this is a team of 8.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, so we've got Yelena, Ghost, Zemo. Shit, I wrote this down on my phone. Hang on, I gotta pull it up because I'm not smart enough to remember what I said.
Is Ghost Is Ghost technically part of the team yet?
I think they said she was going to.
Seen that.
No, we don't. Half of these we won't have. More than half, I would imagine. We've not seen Val approach.
Yeah.
So
in the comics, there was like 20 different versions of the Thunderbolts. Yeah, so there's been like 50 people in the Thunderbolts. So it's like you can't go off of comics.
There's even been a version of the Thunderbolts that has Deadpool on the team.
Exactly. So, okay, so Yelena, Taskmaster, Zemo, Ghost, John Walker, and Red Hulk.
Oh.
So I feel that's 6 right there.
Mm-hmm.
Abomination would make 7. So I feel like there's one more that I'm not thinking of.
I would not be surprised if we see some character out of either Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, or Secret Invasion, maybe be part of the team.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Part of me was kind of feel like they could fit into it.
Yeah, part of me was thinking Val, but I was like, Val feels more like a leader to me. Like I wouldn't, if it was
Nick
me,
Fury.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily consider her part of the team. I would consider her the person who runs the team and tells said team what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I even wrote, like, someone asked on Twitter like who your guess is at who they are, whatever. And I just wrote like a maybe Bucky if they get it aligned, because that he's the obvious choice to like wrangle them if they are, and to prove to them that, hey, you can reform, you can become a hero.
I could see that mainly, and the main reason why I could see that is because I think they want to have keep Sebastian Stan around, but they don't really have a place for him right now.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be featured because in Captain America 4.
Yeah, I don't think he'll probably appear in Captain America 4. Honestly,
I don't think he will either. I was trying to refresh myself on who was rumored to be in the Thunderbolts, and so I looked up Thunderbolts, and an article popped up that Captain America might lead the Thunderbolts. It was a theory. And so I started talking with this guy at work about, okay, well, yeah, we were talking about, Torres taking over as Falcon and stuff. And he was like, really? I was kind of hoping that he would still be Falcon and just kind of combine the names and have Captain Falcon. I was like, I need Super Smash Bros. To be canon right now.
Falcon Punch, Falcon Kick. Yes, I 100%. Every time I saw him coming closer and closer to the moniker of Captain America, I was just like, that someone's got to make this joke, right?
Yes,
like, it's got to be there.
100%. Emil continues saying, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Your cousin, the Hulk. And Jed says, my cousin Bruce. And he responds, semantics. He was the Hulk, wasn't he? I tried to kill him, so let's get that out of the way. It wasn't personal or anything. I was under direct orders from others under your government. And Jed says, but then you went on a destructive rampage in Harlem. That wasn't sanctioned by the government. And he says, they pumped me full of super soldier serum. And Jen asked the serum the government gave you is what caused your actions. And he says that I was a highly decorated soldier. I was sent to take out a threat, and I thought I was the good guy, So I thought it would that I would be America's ass or something.
He did not say that.
That would have been so great if he did. Oh my, I would have loved that.
That would have been amazing if he said that.
Turned around and faces the glass and just been like, what do you think about this shot?
I do love the way that he said it in the show, though. Like Tim Roth is so much more talented than that the Hulk, Incredible Hulk movie showed. Like, he was very scary in that movie, but he wasn't like the range that this guy has. He's intimidating at the height of 5'6". He plays sympathetic, he plays pathetic, he plays logical, he plays a little hint of lunacy. Like, he's doing a lot of stuff in this 5-minute scene that he's got.
My gosh, I loved it. I was sitting there watching it. I was like, okay, this is some impressive acting right here. Like, this guy is completely selling this story, like, dead on. Like, all of it, like she even said to Bruce on the phone, all of it makes sense. Like, he's got a great argument, and the way he's saying it is perfect, except you can just barely hear the shit in his voice.
I actually think that he believes what he's saying, and which I have a theory around that, which I'll go into in just a little bit.
I think he does too, but I still think he's definitely throwing some shit there.
I think he's like, namaste, but I also like to go do underground fights.
Yes. And it's like, okay, that's so impressive that the actor can sell those lines like that, but also just barely throw in that hint of shit. He can sell it that well. Yeah. And still have that in there. Like, I was so impressed by that scene.
He sold it to me. I was thinking the government did do him dirty. Like, they really kind of did. Like, we were so caught up in the fact that, Hulk has this like opponent that's worthy of like kicking his ass. He's big, he's Abomination, but like, he should never have been in that position because the government did that to him. Oh, yeah. And for me, I felt kind of sorry for him, but I know that I'm like, oh, should I? I don't know. I'm questioning it.
He was definitely twisting it right. And pretty much everything he said was true too. Like, I mean,
and did anybody else get like Trevor? Is it Trevor Slattery? Was that his name? Vibes from him when he first came in? He's like, I wrote some haikus, and I'm like, oh my god,
here we go.
Yeah. he's I believe that he'll be, and this is almost like hey, get excited to see this guy in the Thunderbolts, because he's one of the more sympathetic characters already. I feel people are going to be rooting for him, and that's one more reason. Like, every movie in Marvel is so calculated to be, or every performance in Marvel is so calculated to be, hey, get excited to see this person later. And that's what we get with like Yelena in Hawkeye. We're like, oh shit, I want to see more of Yelena. Like,
oh my gosh, I love her.
Yeah, like I when he was just like, I thought I was gonna be Captain America or something. Like, I just love that.
I thought I was going to be America's ass or something.
No, John, he didn't say that.
John saw a different bit of that.
He's all caught up in that ass. Yeah. It's interesting to hear you talk about Captain America's ass more than Hulk's for a change. That's he's all caked up on a Tuesday night. Yeah.
All right. So,
Oh, can I ask one more question before you go on? Well, it's not really a question. I guess it's more of a comment, because I'm like a horror movie nerd.
Mhm.
And before they went in and she made that Silence of the Lambs joke,
Yes.
she's like, oh, is he going to have me with some fava beans and a nice Chianti?
Yes,
Ma'am, this is a prison.
I love that.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. The references are great. I'm glad that she's.
I did not get that reference because I've never seen the film, but I when I saw it, I was like, that has to be a reference to Sighing, and so I had put when I was looking on IMDb, I found out that, and I put it into my trivia section actually for the episode.
Nice.
Yeah,
John. If you've got time to watch Velocipaster, you've got time to watch The Silence of the Lambs. And you really should.
I bet it will be a lot better.
How long is Silence of the Lambs? Because Velocipaster's only an hour. I feel like you're a damn liar.
Right, but the performances, man, make it worth the while.
We're talking about time now.
Time. What's time?
So,
well, it's whenever the clock moves.
Crap. I gotta get one of those.
So he says, as now that very threat, your cousin is held up as a hero. Well, I'm in here. Where's the justice in that? Jen says, I get your point. But the parole board is going to need to know you feel remorseful for your actions to consider release. He says, I do, and I have here these haikus that I've written to my victims. I am expressing my sorrow. If you'd like to experience them, Jen is not want to do that. At which, no, I actually hope that at least one episode this season we get a full one of his haikus.
Yes,
we need to. I would
give you the taste of the one we did get.
We're definitely gonna get one.
Yeah.
Okay. The one he starts saying, and I have no idea who this is to or from or whatever he's projecting. Is my tiny ears here. So, and then she cuts him off. I love that she's like, just speak from your heart instead of what you think they want to hear. He's like, they're all from my heart, Mrs. Waltz. Like,
that was excellent acting, Keith.
All I wanted. Thank you.
And he tells her that
get an Emmy.
I just want to move on with my life, and a large piece of property purchased by my 7 soulmates. Think you could help? And Jen says, I'll think about it. Which I think particularly
he's talking about the raft.
I was thinking it was. Zemo probably bought a property for all of the Thunderbolts or side.
I was thinking either Zemo or Val.
Yeah, either one of them could probably finance it.
So, so now that we finished off that scene, I want to tell you guys my theory for what I think is going on here. So, I think that for a meeting with an attorney, Emil probably met with Val and she wants to recruit him, but he's in prison, so she can't right now. So they have to figure out a way to manipulate a lawyer into helping him. So what I'm thinking happened is either some kind of serum or some kind of programming, and Val did on him so that he would be he would be more mellowed out. He would be more remorseful for his actions. So I think he is what he's saying is actually from the heart, but is still not the real Blonsky. And I'm thinking at some point, maybe later this season, it's like in his since in the trailer we've seen and he has his own like meditation place or something. I'm thinking that Val's gonna show up there, and it's almost gonna be like with Bucky, where they had he was a sleeper cell, and they had these words that where it said brought out the real version of him. I'm thinking Val's going to say the words that turn Blonsky back into the real villain that he was before.
It's very possible.
I have a theory that just popped in my head.
Oh,
okay.
What if it's a scroll? The one in prison is a scroll, and the real Abomination is out there being his quiet meditation self bullshit. And then soon he's just gonna blow up, and then they're gonna realize, wait a minute, why isn't this guy in our jail cell flipping out? Even though there's another Abomination, it's because he's a scroll and he can't turn super buff. That's exactly what's happening.
Derek just added a whole nother level of green to this show. And there's
More green.
more green. Yeah. Possible. Anything's possible. I'm open to suggestions. I don't want to theorize. So
I feel like scrolls are everywhere.
So this is
feel
all
like-
good.
What's
All
that,
good.
Whitney?
I said I have no clue what's going on, so all this is great.
A secret invasion is going to blow our minds with scrolls
Probably.
all over the MCU, and we will not see it coming.
And they'll have been there since day one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like right now, it looks like Emil Blonsky. It's actually Amelia Clark. That's exactly what's happening.
And we find out that Jen's dad is a Skrull.
Oh,
And that's why he made her lift all those water bottles. The trickster.
Or maybe Ched is a scroll.
That's why they don't have
that would explain why he got promoted at Best Buy, right?
I was gonna say that's why they don't have a cat.
They didn't.
So we cut to Jen at home. We hear a voicemail from Holiday saying how he expects a decision by end of day. Jen then calls Bruce. We see Bruce has Fuzzball as the name for her on his phone, which I love that.
Yeah.
And Bruce says, "Hey Jen, what's up?" And Jen says, "I got a new job." And Bruce says, "Congrats." And Jen's like, "Yeah, but I gotta take on Emil Blonsky as a client, and I couldn't do that before talking to you first." Since she starts explaining everything, not letting Bruce talk at all, but all through this, and finally, Bruce gets out. "I think you were calling me to say you're taking it," and she says, "Yeah, that's what's going on." And Bruce says, "That's great, Jen," and actually, Blonsky sent me a really nice letter and a really heartfelt haiku. We put everything behind us. That fight was many years ago. I'm a completely different person now. Literally.
People lost their shit about that on Twitter today.
It's so
I
good.
did.
I'm gonna start
That's a good
sending
line.
people
And then
that I don't know or that I don't get along with haiku and see what happens.
It's gotta be
And there's-
heartfelt. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I think there's a
Go
little
ahead.
bit moment here as well that a lot. I think that people don't notice, but I think at least I think it's the case that's happening. I think that when Jen says "ha ha," I think that's her breaking the fourth wall there. So I think she actually slightly looks towards the camera while saying it.
I think she did too.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna have to watch it again. I
Which
saw
I think
someone
has-
post that. Yeah.
which
So y'all are gonna think, I'm really
that
dumb.
adds more to the scene.
Derek thinks we're gonna think he's dumb.
Dumber than you already do.
Done.
Are you
I'm
sure that's
just-
possible?
Oh, we'll make it possible. Yeah. You have no idea how high I can fly. I'm just now realizing when he said I'm a completely different person now, he's referring to Ed Norton.
Oh my
Mark Ruffalo. Like I just got that.
Oh,
I didn't get it my first time watching, but it was at 4 a.m. and I was listening to it. I was like, oh, and you know what I was thinking more so was, you know what? That many years ago, I was a different person. I totally get where he's coming from.
That's what I was thinking too.
I mean, he kind of saying that too, but
it ain't that deep.
Like literally a different person. I'm like, okay, that is not near as deep as I thought it was.
Wow.
Amazing.
Man.
That's okay. I didn't recognize the Thunderbolts reference either, so it's fine.
And and John did not even consider She-Hulk turds. So
Right?
We almost went the whole rest of the episode.
We're all idiots.
Then Whitney also did not consider that, Derek.
Nope.
just a little bit longer.
Oh.
Didn't want to. Wait, are they green?
Oh, depends on what. No.
Wait.
I'm so glad we're back on the subject.
So Bruce,
John.
asked what.
I have to say, I love this conversation being the second one we've had where Jen just talks at people.
Oh,
And she's already made up her mind. She already knows.
Yeah.
She just has to vent, and it teaches the men to shut the fuck up and listen. Yeah. I like that.
I feel I immediately last night after watching it, I was like, that's gonna be the big thing this episode that the misogynists are gonna be complaining about. Though I actually didn't see that many people complaining about it.
The premiere episode, everybody's like misogyny. This episode, they're like, it was too short. Like there was nothing this week. I was surprised. I was looking for it, but nothing really.
Bruce asks what they named her, and she tells him She-Hulk. Bruce laughs, and Jen says, "Don't even." And Bruce responds, "No, I love it. That's got a nice ring to it. She-Hulk, attorney at law."
I know you love that part.
It's so good. Jen says there are some strings attached to it that I'm not so happy about. It's gonna be a lot to navigate through. And Bruce says it all worked out. You got this. Just be careful. And Jen says, "I will. You coming to LA anytime soon?" And Bruce says, "Yeah, probably not for a good minute. I got some things I gotta take care of." We pan out to see that he's on a Sakaar ship in space, which zooms off and the call ends.
And her response is the comedic timing of Jen in every scene, but she's just like, okay, phone call over, I guess.
Yep.
But I love that they have that big heroic swell of music. Like, this is a big reveal. He's in the Sakaar ship. Oh my God. And then just cut to Jen on a very grounded level humor. I like that. I mean,
it's kind of similar to when we first set at Blonsky. It was like they had this epic music going, and then he says namaste, and then it all just the epic music cuts.
I like that too. Yeah.
But which I kind of feel like it's obvious where he's probably going. He's probably going back to Sakaar.
Yeah. We're getting a World War Hulk out of that.
Probably.
Everyone's going nuts already.
Right.
Which that's what. Okay, Keith, that was what I was talking about last episode of some leaks that I've heard about. That we may be coming true.
You and your leaks, man.
That's what I'm guessing is that one of the 8 projects is a War Hulk.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a series. I don't think it's going to be a movie.
I am predicting that that is going to be announced at D23.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right.
Reason why I think that is because so I'm thinking there's going to be a big major reveal towards that at the end of the 4th episode this season.
At the end of the 4th? Why the 4th? Because
there's two things. There's 2 things for it. One, that's how many episodes the press got, and so I'm feeling like there's probably a big cliffhanger at the end of what the press would have got, and also also a lot of the press mentioned that there's some very big things that happen in the first 4 episodes for the rest of the MCU going forward. Mm-hmm. And then also the 4th episode comes out one day before D23.
Mm.
So I think
interesting.
I think there's there's a good chance that they could probably have something like very definitively revealing that's where they're going with this at the end of the 4th episode, and then on then the next day at D23 they officially announce it.
Is D23 in the middle of the day?
I think it's a like 2 or 3 day event, and it's goes all day each of the days.
I was gonna say, because like during I can't remember if you all were on or not during San Diego Comic-Con whenever they were talking, whenever Marvel was up and like everyone was on the Discord and voice channel talking everything. That was so much fun.
That was
great.
It was so much fun.
It was
I'm
fantastic.
mad I missed it.
Damn it, Keith.
I know. Miss you guys in general.
I miss you too, buddy.
Sucked that both Clint and Emmy had to miss it because of work.
Yeah, they were out too.
That's where I was.
Jen calls Holloway and she says that she's taking Blonsky's case. They have already got a winning strategy and it's 100% in the bag. He tells her that you might want to take a look at the news right now. He hangs up. Jen turns on the TV, and we hear that that footage leaked of Abomination in a cage fight has come out, which is obviously from when Wong and him fought in Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Which this is something I talked with Amanda on Discord about. I think this is someone videotaped that, and it's probably honestly actually footage probably from like months ago or something, and they are releasing it online now. And that's why it's and I'm guessing it's probably a like maybe a rival or law firm or maybe got a hold of someone who had that footage so that they could screw the case over, or since they were probably would be the people going up against GLK and H, I'm guessing.
See, that right there was making me question the timeline, because
it would have screwed it up, right?
Yeah, well, like I'm sitting there watching that. I was like, okay, so it could be a couple months. How many people were at that event? You're telling me not one person with a phone leaked that? Not one?
I would think that Shang-Chi's sister would take all the phones at the door.
I think you're a damn liar.
They didn't.
No.
Did they? Yeah,
okay. So
she's so strong.
I'm actually not surprised that it would have taken a while for that to happen, because this is an illegal fight club that's happened for years, and it never got leaked until now. And you think that they think that just that because the Abomination was there, which I'm pretty sure he's probably been there before, or
Abomination or Wong. We did have the Sorcerer Supreme.
I think it's more so because at least that version of the Fight Club didn't get like disbanded and it during Shang-Chi because like when that the fight broke out as Shang-Chi's dad came and fight him, so came to get him, and so I'm thinking that that's probably in part why things happened the way they did, and someone was more willing to leak something after the place had been disbanded.
Yeah,
and see, I mean, I get what you're saying, and I agree with you partly. I mean, like, a fighting ring like that, like now has trouble keeping under wraps though, and like so. And I get it's a super secret fighting ring, but at the same time, you've got Abomination who destroyed Harlem, and you've got the Sorcerer Supreme. Like, that's some big news. And these are not small people. Like, someone is talking about that.
It kind of felt to me though, like in Shang-Chi, like the two of them have been coming to this arena for a long time. I'm doing fights for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I don't. If they hadn't before or leaked it because of that, I don't see why specifically because of that they would have done it this time.
Yeah, And that could be a good point right there. Like, it looked like the footage from Shang-Chi, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe they've been going there for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe the fighting ring opened back up and they've still been going there since. Like, it could be a newer fight. Like, that wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they'll explain it because, in the trailer we saw her talking to Wong and, explaining, we go by the Constitution. So I'm hoping maybe they'll clear that up a little bit because it is a little.
Oh, yeah.
I think our next episode guest is definitely going to be Wong.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, because they're going to talk to him.
Yeah,
they're going to talk to him about, hey, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah,
so
sure.
Jen then turns to us saying simply, "Oh, that sucks." And the credits roll. And then post-credits time. This post-credits, we see Jen helping her dad with a bunch of tasks that involve lifting, including picking up a car so that Ched can work on it, even though he doesn't understand what he's doing at all.
He says, "I don't know what 4K is. Nobody does, but you still need it." I was like, "What?"
It's true.
I'm so glad
Nobody
he's
does.
manager of Best Buy.
You still need it. That's all he's been told.
He's a good salesman. He's a good salesman.
Yeah.
Imagine how many people get to buy a 4K TV by saying
Just based off of that.
Still need it.
Right?
Needed.
Yeah.
So, and then placing the TV on the wall, which she then tells her dad, and don't touch these wires again. I really liked that line.
Yeah, so true. Very real.
Yeah, it's so good.
Chad's
And-
like, I could have done that.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
work
yeah,
at Best Buy.
That was the
Yeah,
part that made me laugh. I was like, okay, so the car, sure, that's impressive. All the water bottles, yeah, that's really impressive too. I was like, she hung a TV on the wall. Like, I was like, come on, I can do that.
Yeah. I wrote right after like Chad says I could have done that. I just wrote, shut up, Chad. No one wants to hear you.
I definitely want to hear Chad. I need more Chad.
You don't know that your
I'm
genius
thinking-
cousins
thinking,
joke
like,
about you.
Yes, we enjoy the audience, but I mean like within the show, I feel like the family, they don't want to hear him say these things.
From now on, he's going to be known as Chad Mermaid.
I can just.
I want him to be. If someone tells him off before the end of the season, I'll be happy. That'd be great. If he keeps this up and he's in this many episodes, that'd be great.
Oh man, I hope so.
Yeah, he's kind of cute too. So I'm just okay. I'm okay with it.
See, he's already getting the mermaid.
Is it the Quagmire shirt? It's like giggity. It's the top knot.
It is the top knot. It's
I knew it. It's definitely not the other.
So she carries A's water jugs inside, and she tells her dad that I'm glad you're getting hydrated, but this is a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
It's okay. So I don't think this is nearly as great of a post-credit scene as the first one was, but I still really liked it. I thought this was a very fun post-credit scene.
I did too.
I do like that the dad went back on the fact that he was like, I wasn't actually going to get you to do stuff.
I kind of feel like he was. I kind of felt like he was having her do stuff as to not let on to the fact to the rest of the family that was the real reason he was doing that. Yeah. Because I feel like they would be annoyed if they heard he was just trying to get her out of there so they don't have to deal with them.
He probably pulled a little like, hey, before you head out, but also I need to know, like, who keeps that kind of water cooler in their house? Do you guys have one of those in your house?
I want one.
I just feel like that's
now.
I feel like
Maybe
it's
they
like,
live in a bad area for water.
well, I guess doesn't LA have droughts sometimes? I guess.
Just for the sake of this, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I kind of love. There's something I love in, I guess, especially in end credits, like seeing these super powered people doing mundane things.
Yeah,
like the shawarma scene. Everything
The
started with the
shawarma.
shawarma.
Yes.
It was so
That's
good.
what was so charming about that,
Yeah.
because it's like
That
they're
was
just
great.
lunch because they did a hard day's work. You
Day's
know.
work. You gotta have
Oh, yeah.
family dinner.
Yeah.
Question. In Ragnarok, Jeff Goldblum's sidekick or whatever. What was her name? Number 2, I
I
think.
can't remember. It was something
like that.
ridiculous. Yeah.
The one that he was like, "Oh, what do we say about
what do we always say about
Valkyrie?
her?" She's like,
Starts with a
bitch.
B. She's the trash.
Trash. Oh
Yes,
yeah,
that woman.
It doesn't even start with a B.
Were you just waiting to call her trash? Like, what I needed the post-credit scene to be was like Hulk landing there, and then Jeff Goldblum sitting there, and then he just looks at the at number. I'm just going to call her number 2 because I don't remember what her name was.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was it. Anyway, he just looks at her and goes, "What have you done with my champion?" Like seeing him walk out with the glasses.
But also,
awesome.
also have that he's in this like he's instead of being on his throne in the city, he's just in like a dirt hut outside the city.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he has this little dirt throne and
That'd be
and
awesome.
just for some reason in number 2 is with him, or maybe even she's not with him, but it's like a situation like Castaway where he has this has a fake
volleyball
version of her.
I love that. That's a great idea. I like because you know that he did not survive the revolution that happened. He's like he didn't get his power back. At least is what I mean. He was not reinstated.
Probably not. No.
I do like that he tried to trick them though. He's like,
I do
revolution.
think
We won.
I do think we will see him again though at some point in the MCU though, because he was supposed to appear in Thor: Love and Thunder, and presumably most likely Gore would have killed him, but they removed the scene of him in there, so I'm guessing they have some kind of plan for him in the future.
Yeah, they don't want him to die for sure.
I hope so. I love Jeff Goldblum so much. Yes.
Which also Mark Ruffalo did an interview where he was like, I'm really sad that they didn't bring me back for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Well,
like he's like, I really want to be able to hang out with Chris again.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't want that? Gosh,
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Hemsworth. Yeah. My gosh, I would. Yeah, he's the only Hemsworth I'm interested in hanging out with. I'll be honest, but.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean maybe Liam.
Well,
if there was no shot.
Liam's okay, but.
Matt Damon.
I said he's okay. Like he's not one of the most handsome people in the family. Listen to me.
Matt Damon Hemsworth.
Katniss still picked PETA, so
I was gonna say, are you talking about the Everdeen?
The Everdeen? Yes I am.
Worst decision she ever made. All her life.
Also in this post credits, are you trying to say something, Keith?
Nope.
Oh,
we were doing silent.
Yeah, I was doing Full House.
Also in the post credit scene, Jen's outfit. I'm not proud of this, but Jen's outfit in the post credit scene definitely did side me. I really like this outfit for not so wholesome reasons.
It did something to me. Yes, it's all over the internet. Everybody's thirsty for it. They're all happy.
That's exactly the way I am. Anytime Blake Lively walks on the screen. Okay.
Damn, people are freaking out still.
A thirsty podcast.
You never thought it would be your first, right?
Spandex.
Don't everybody don't let Whitney lie to you. That's exactly what she thinks about Tom Cruise.
Oh, fuck you, Darek. Can I say that on here?
Yeah, you can definitely say that.
Yeah,
especially if he deserves it.
I'm surprised I haven't gotten that quicker than now.
I think as a whole, I don't think this episode was as good for me as the first one, but I still think it's probably a 9 out of 10 for me. I think I as I said, I love Jen's dad. And also really getting to know Nikki more. I love Nikki. She's a perfect best friend character. I can't say enough good about her. And I'm so excited for seeing more of her going forward. I also really enjoyed Pug, and I need him to be a major character going forward.
Yeah, he's in all 8. He's in the rest of the 8 episodes.
Well, they say that on IMDb, but that doesn't mean much.
That doesn't count.
So IMDb until they actually know. They put placeholders and and just have it that that a character is in every character's in every episode moving forward.
That explains why they didn't say 9.
They also say that they also say on IMDb that Daredevil is in 7 episodes now, and I don't think he's gonna be in 7 episodes of the show.
I don't either. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. I just wishful thinking. Pug is in 8 episodes.
Yeah, and I also really like the changes they made to Blonsky, especially letting him actually use his real accent, which was nice.
Well, he was British originally.
Since they yes, but
a little more real. A little more Tim Roth.
He sounded more like Tim Roth than he did in The Incredible Hulk.
Really great, a really good Daniel Radcliffe impersonation.
Yeah.
From Knives Out,
all of them.
So
he's doing a perfect Tim Roth, I promise. Ever seen Pulp Fiction? That's the guy. Very beginning of the movie. Thinks his name's Honey Bunny in that. Yeah. Check out the Variant Vendetta podcast. You guys will hear someone talking about that.
Variant Vendetta podcast for a wonderful review.
Let's first I'm gonna go with Keith. What was your thoughts on the episode as a whole?
I laughed at people saying that this episode was too short because I thought they made such good use of the time. It's so much is packed into this. We get a Thunderbolts nod. We get a Sakaar nod. We get so many potential things going forward. We'd learn a lot more about Titania, but not so much that she's spoiled. We get to see something later. They're using really good use of time. And my second favorite, I'd say this is my top favorite thing. The comedy delivery of the lines is so much fun. I love that the way that they're playing with their delivery. I think Tatiana is perfect for this as usual. I thought she was great in the first one, but this one, seeing her without Bruce there the whole time, it's she's natural with anybody, which is my favorite thing. And I focused a lot on the close-ups of the CGI, and it didn't bother me. I'm sitting there going, "Why are people so pissed about the CGI?" It's more natural than people are giving a chance, which is a shame.
Also, there wasn't actually as much comedy, I think, this episode as there was the first episode, but I think it really worked well for giving a little bit more seriousness in this episode.
I was dying laughing from the boss's lines alone. I just love that guy saying he hates the cold. Just tell him that. I love that so much.
All right, Derek. Eric, what's your thoughts on the episode as a whole?
I mean, so kind of how I process whether or not like I like movies and shows and stuff like that is I like run through it in my head, and I think about all the scenes that pop out to me. That I really enjoyed. And on this episode, there honestly wasn't that much. Like, I really enjoyed the first episode, but this one, there just wasn't quite as much that stood out to me. Now, I will admit, like, on my first watch, whenever the credits rolled, I was shocked. Like, I was enjoying the crap out of watching it. And I did not want it to be over. So like, while not a lot is standing out to me, it's also obvious to me based on my reaction when it ended that I was enjoying it, and it was completely soaking me and hooked me in.
And now, Whitney, what is your thoughts on the episode as a whole?
I agree with both of you. It did seem short, but I have to remember this is as short as like a normal sitcom would be, right? Yeah. And we're so kind of spoiled with these older, the past episodes that have been like 45 minutes to an hour long, with Midnight and WandaVision, all that. But what they did with it, you're right, there was so much in there. All the little Easter eggs, like Wolverine, and finally the Tiamat was, brought up. And it, I don't know if that's like a serious news outlet. That seemed kind of like a feed type,
Yeah.
But it was finally acknowledged for the first time that we've noticed. I love
in
the
smallest way possible.
And we're getting so many characters. Emil is in there. We're getting new people at her new job. I love Pug so much. I hope he's in a lot of episodes. I think he's a nice breath of fresh air compared to the guys that she has been around. We have her family members. I mean, they really did a lot with the episode. And I like that they're having fun with, retconning and, saying, hey, I was a different person. And we get the joke, they get the joke. I saw
just Derek doesn't get the joke.
The only person in the entire world who did not get the joke.
It's true. But I saw a meme earlier when they did this with Rhodey, like when they recast War Machine, and the scene was, hey, I'm here, get over it. It was that kind of thing, like, yeah, they recasted it, stop talking about it, move on. So I really enjoy that kind of in your face, but kind of a wink that they're doing with everything. But the CGI, I couldn't care less. It's two giant green people. How realistic do we need to be? Just have, this is my qualm with a lot of criticism with Marvel. Like, yeah, some movies aren't as good as others, some shows aren't as good as others, but can we just have fun? Can we just enjoy it? Like, it's one of my escapes, and I just want to have fun with it.
Hell yeah. Well said.
Definitely. And like with it being a very short episode as well. Something I've heard a few times, which I agree with. If you come out of an episode of being like, I wanted more, that's a good thing. You're that. And I think that was a sign we dealt with a lot in WandaVision, and I think I think that's what that really goes to show that people really like this show. If they want, if they're like, they get to the end of an episode and they're like, that's it, I want more. Yeah,
definitely could have gone for some more Wanda.
Same.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
And maybe a better finale than WandaVision gave.
Well, I didn't even hate that finale. I hear people saying it was weak.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all.
I see a lot
Actually, it kind of blew my mind when I watched it. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
The runes. She did the runes, dude.
I was excited.
There's a witch involved. Ugh. Give me
more witch. Yes, please.
All right. So, I have some trivia from IMDb. So, this one, you guys already mentioned, but the scene with the guard are giving the rules to Jennifer with her, for her audience with Blonsky is very similar to the scene in Silence of the Lambs when Claire's first visit to Hannibal Lecter, and she also makes a reference to the fava beans and Auntie. That I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but dialogue made by Lecter later in the film, but also like in the first episode, there's also a barcode in this episode that leads to a free She-Hulk comic. It's on the website for the 10 offbeat jobs for a fresh start scene where we see her computer. And this one leads to She-Hulk #1 from 2004. And then also now that it's been a week, I actually have a few more from last episode since I guess I got them and too early last time so I wasn't able to find much. But apparently in a rare time the jury box is shown to contain 14 jurors, 12 members, and 2 alternates, which it's rare that they actually show it like this on TV, but that's actually very similar to how it is in real life. So that was kind of cool that it was actually kind of accurate.
Most realistic lawyer show of all time. Here we go. Is that an Emmy category? Let's go.
Watch out, see you.
This next one I imagine is going to probably very much sadden and Whitney, but the Titania actress Jamal Jamil replied in a Twitter thread after the airing of the first episode, saying that Titania would not be returning to the series again until the 5th episode.
Aw.
That kind of stinks. I figured she was gonna be in it more than that. Okay.
I was kind of surprised that they didn't do a little bit more with her this episode, but it was, I mean, I'm not mad about it. I was just a little surprised that they just did the little thing in the beginning, but I love her. I love her.
And then and also for a catapulted rock to escape Earth's gravitation, its initial velocity must be over 11 kilometers a second, and not accounting for air resistance. So more likely it will get pulverized and burn up. So if Hulk's Bruce didn't intend for the rock to fall down somewhere, so it probably ended up burning up in the atmosphere. So that was kind of cool.
That's good news that it didn't hurt anybody in space.
And the answer to my trivia question from earlier was 1980. Is when and She-Hulk was introduced in the comics.
Who was closest? What were our answers, John?
I think Whitney was closest, since I think she said 84.
Who said 70?
I think
I might have said 73 or something. You're probably still close.
Okay. Well,
I know Derek's. Derek's is the only one I can remember. The magic number is in there.
So Derek, what was the answer to your trivia question?
So the answer to my trivia question was J. Jonah Jameson.
What?
Oh,
She-Hulk married astronaut John Jameson. They eloped in Vegas.
Okay.
And then the marriage was quickly annulled because they figured out that she was emotionally manipulated by Star Fox, who was another ex-lover of She-Hulk.
Oh, and he's a bad guy in the comics.
He sucks.
Ooh, Star Fox.
Yeah.
Doesn't she?
Everybody on the She-Hulk Discord I'm on, we all keep Jen away from Star Fox in the MCU because he manipulates her into doing some things that definitely should not be done.
But now I need them to pull the actor that played John Jameson in Spider-Man 2. And he needs to meet She-Hulk. That's exactly what needs to happen.
I'm sure they will.
I remember during while people were trying to figure out who all was going to appear in No Way Home, someone actually asked in an interview the actor who played John Jameson in Spider-Man 2, and he was like, "What? You guys seriously think I would be coming back?" I'm like, it's like, this guy was such a small character in that film. Why would you seriously think he's gonna be coming back?
I don't remember him at all.
Yeah,
he was engaged to MJ.
I barely remember that.
Yeah,
but this is what's going to happen. Is Pug is going to get sick. Okay, he's going to come down with like a stomach virus.
Yeah,
and then like overnight they're going to recast him, and it's going to be the guy that plays John Jameson. And he's going to come back in the morning and they're going to be like, "Are you feeling all right?" He's like, "Yep, a little Robitussin and I'm a new man."
No, I love Pug. He's got to stay.
Thank God if I got a stomach bug, I know where the best bathroom is to be.
Oh man, so I actually have a bit of history seeing the actor who plays Pug in the series. Josh Segarra, he was on the DC show Arrow, and it's
a great show.
Do you remember him, Derek, in Arrow?
Who does he play?
Prometheus, the villain from season 5.
Oh yeah, I definitely remember Prometheus.
It is crazy how different he feels in this.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I know I've seen season 5. I don't remember that character. I gotta look that up.
I'm gonna have to like watch it again now because I don't remember
villain of the season, and he is regarded by most fans as the best villain they had in the entire show, and
he really was.
And he was so maniacal and everything he said had meaning, and like it was so. It's a bit jarring coming from that into this very different character from him, because that's the only thing I had seen him in before this. But I really enjoyed how he acted in this.
Yeah. Oh, it's so silly. It's such a silly character, a little short spot so far. But
have any of you checked out the they around Comic-Con they released this poster that had a phone number for She-Hulk audit, of which it was like I think 1888 She-Hulk for which it gave you a recording for or GLK&H a voicemail recording for and it was of Jen and Pug recording it, and Pug during the recording is like you should turn into She-Hulk while we're recording. All right. And Jen was like, I'm gonna sound the same. This is a recording for a phone call. They're not gonna be able to see it. So what? And he was like, just do it. And she was like, fine. I just turned into She-Hulk during the recording. It was hilarious.
I thought you were gonna say it was like 1888 She-Hulk for a good time, and then you call the number, and it's the guy that's up in Minneapolis talking about how much he hates the cold weather.
I told you he hated it.
He knows I hate the cold. Why did he?
Son of a bitch.
Meanwhile, he's laughing at home with the scotch. He's like, cold. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then you just like, yes, that would have been another great after credit scene too. Like the boss like sitting in his living room watching Ice Road Truckers laughing at the cold.
Thompson.
We could see any of these scenes happen because every episode of the show has a post-credit scene. So that we were probably going to, we probably could see one of those happen, honestly. Which
that makes me so happy. I love a post-credit.
Yeah, post-credit's smart. And to always leave on a laugh too.
Yeah.
I imagine one of them won't be comedic post credits, but I would like them all, the rest of them to be. That'd be nice.
What the critics who got to watch the first 4 episodes, they at least one of them, I think multiple of them actually might have mentioned in how one of the post credit scenes means some very big things for the MCU going forward. So
I mean, it has to be the first one.
So I'm guessing maybe the first one, but there's but we have 2 more episodes that it could be. So I'll have to be looking out for those in the coming weeks.
I mean, it's confirmed now.
The world has changed.
Yeah. It's confirmed now that Steve Rogers is Star-Lord's Pap Pap.
Pap Pap.
Yeah.
Pap.
Yeah, Pap Pap.
All right. Well, before I end this off, is there any final things that any of you would like to say?
I don't know what a 4K is, but I do know I need one.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Black Friday's coming up soon. Have to get one of those.
My final thoughts would be, did y'all know that if you flip a canoe upside down, you can wear it as a hat because it's capsized?
I hate you.
All right.
Well played.
Check out the X-Packtor Podcast, and you can follow the X-Packtor Podcast on Twitter. Thank you for listening. If you like this Gamma analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episode, so please let me know. Oh, and if you'd like to listen to more from me, please subscribe. Many more Gamma analyses from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This again is your host, Smash Trivia John, signing off.